Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the AIM on MS&T podcast. I'm your host, Kate, and I'm so glad you have joined us today. If you are new here, let's catch you up. AIM stands for Academia, Industry, and Military, which are the sectors that form the foundation of the modeling, simulation, and training community right here in Central Florida. Together, they make up what is known as Team Orlando, a collaborative partnership driving innovation and mission readiness through MS&T. Each episode, we sit down with leaders and innovators within the MS&T world to talk about what's new, what's next, and why it matters, especially to our Team Orlando community. Whether you're deep in the field or just curious about one of Orlando's biggest industries, second only to the theme parks and hospitality industry, we're here to keep you informed, inspired, and part of the conversation. This episode is brought to you in part by Capital Communications and Consulting, telling your story across all platforms with a clear focus and innovative impact. Whether you want to elevate your message, grow your presence, or connect with the right audience, the C3 team will help bring your story to life. Learn more at mycapitalcommunications.com. Today, our guest is Colonel Williams, Director of the Army Contracting Command in Orlando, also known as ACC-Orlando. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Let's get started. It's been about a year since we last spoke. For a little refresh for those who may not be familiar, what role does ACC-Orlando play in supporting the warfighter, and what has changed the most at ACC-Orlando?
Well, our critical mission, it hasn't changed, even though the Army is transforming. Our role is to ensure that American warriors get the most lethal, or they become the most lethal fighting force. But our role is essentially to provide support for that. And we achieve that by executing contracts and ensuring that we're able to deliver capabilities to our warfighters at the fastest speed possible.
Now, over the past year, with the Army transformation initiatives, what has changed within the Army Contracting Command in terms of your mission and priorities?
So our fundamental mission of readiness, it remains our highest priority, but how we execute that mission, it's evolved quite significantly. We're fully transitioning to the new warfighter acquisition system, the WAS, to better align with the Army's modernization goals. We're currently organizing our efforts into the unified portfolios to create a tighter integration between training systems and operational platforms. And that's also evident in how the program side has transformed as well into the portfolio acquisition executive PAE structure.
Okay.
So we're essentially aligning our support to directly support that right there. So it essentially allows us to center our priorities on proactive engagement and lowering barriers for the defense industrial base. So we're leveraging flexible mechanisms such as commercial solutions offerings, openings, CSOs, to acquire the best technology faster. So ultimately, this ensures peace through strength by consistently outpacing our adversaries.
Okay. Building on those changes, I'd like to shift the focus to acquisition reform. Can you delve into those changes that helped your organization move closer to delivering contracts and training to soldiers more quickly and efficiently?
So the recent acquisition reforms that I briefly mentioned in the last question with the PAE structure is we're actively changing our operational posture and expanding our available tool set. So we're shifting more towards an outcome-focused mindset to build acquisition engine that operates at what we call the speed of relevance.
Okay.
So by rolling out the Federal Acquisition Regulation 2.0 or FAR 2.0, also called the Revolutionary FAR Overhaul, we're leaning much harder into flexible contracting mechanisms like CSOs. This flexibility is essential to bring the most innovative solutions to our soldiers without any unnecessary delays or any additional bureaucratic processes or anything like that. So now we're emphasizing commercial preference as well, which means broadcasting our operational challenges rather than writing highly prescriptive requirements. So that invites the defense industrial base to propose their best existing commercial solutions directly to us. So although shaping a new acquisition culture takes time, these changes are laying the critical groundwork for continued efficiency.
Yeah. Along those same lines, how do these changes help small businesses by making it easier for them to compete and submit responses?
Well, I guess a few different ways. So the reforms, they directly address administrative overhead that historically challenged small businesses and companies. So we're currently implementing a plain language rewrite of the federal acquisition regulations to make solicitations a lot more highly accessible, especially to those who aren't historically known for doing business with the government.
Yeah.
So by streamlining these regulations, we make sure that the business owners can easily understand exactly what the government needs. So this significantly reduces upfront burden on smaller companies, which is often a burden to entry or barrier to entry for small innovative companies. So another thing we're doing is we're actively fostering a transparent environment of unity and shared purpose with our industry partners. For instance, like our direct to supplier sessions facilitates highly productive conversations about integrating novel commercial solutions. And then I guess the last thing I can talk about here is like several breakthroughs in AI. Machine learning, synthetic training frequently originate from the smaller, more agile businesses, which makes it easier for these firms to compete and ensures that the Army receives the absolute best technology available. So we're definitely trying to target the smaller, innovative companies to kind of help push the defense industrial base forward.
That's great. With that in mind, along the same lines, can you talk about the uniqueness of the Team Orlando ecosystem and discuss any specific programs that help expand it?
So Team Orlando, it's a unique place. It's unlike any place I've seen since I've been in acquisitions for the last 16 years. So it's uniquely massive, collaborative alliance where military, top-tier academia, industry partners are all physically co-located, which definitely makes it very special. So we're all hyper-focused on the specific domain of modeling, simulation, and training. So this co-location, it serves kind of as the ultimate expression of unity and shared purpose across the joint force. I know we get a chance to share ideas and collaborate quite effectively and openly here through several different engagements, including our pulse sessions and things like that. So I know we're actively working to expand the ecosystem, especially by the use of our Training and Readiness Accelerator, the T-REX Consortium, which is a powerful tool that's designed to specifically attract non-traditional defense contractors and commercial tech firms, which is exactly one of the target markets that we're really going after in today's operational environment. And as I spoke before, got to speak again about the direct-to-supplier engagements through our pulse sessions in our industry days. So we try to do that several times a year on a regular basis to really develop the relationship with industry and build the collaborative trust that we can use to work together and move ahead.
Shifting to the industry perspective, for industry partners, especially small businesses, navigating contracting can be challenging. What are key highlights they should understand? And what would you say are the top 3 to 5 must-dos to be successful in this space?
So I would say the primary highlight of the FAR overhaul is our shift to performance-based requirements that focus on the necessary outcomes. I think I mentioned that previously, but we're refining compliance rules to ensure that innovative firms can navigate the regulatory environment more easily. Because just from past feedback, that's been one of the big barriers for the companies was all the regulatory stuff that's in there and then that they have to navigate. So to be successful, number one priority just, of course, must be understanding our mission. And that's to keep the American soldier ready and prepared to go into contingency operations. So their technology, they have to be able to translate it so it can directly contribute to making them the most lethal fighting force on the planet. You should also aim to shape the requirement early by providing feedback. And we're actually trying to increase this now as well as to we release a lot of draft solicitations so we can elicit feedback from industry so that we can better shape our requirements more to something that I guess, one, that industry can support, and then two, that is still adequate for our war fighters out there. So engaging with those documents helped us create modern acquisitions that welcome better commercial approaches. Finally, I would also say like lead with your commercial technology and build a sense of unity and share purpose with our team. And that comes from my last statements about attending our sessions and our direct to supplier sessions and building that relationship. We do understand your capabilities and know that you're out there so that when we do have a requirement, can team with you and kind of get better solutions going forward.
Yeah, that's great. Looking at the broader picture, how do you prioritize capabilities in today's environment? What factors drive those decisions?
Well, very carefully, I guess. So can't treat speed, mission need, and budget as competing interests.
Right.
Because they form an interconnected trinity, I like to say. So our agile business leaders are empowered to manage all of these factors simultaneously. So mission need, of course, is the baseline. Like if you ever hear anyone across the Department of War talking about acquisitions, it's all about the schedule, talking about delivering capability to the warfighter faster. So to ensure speed, we're utilizing a lot of the flexibilities within the FAR overhaul or the FAR 2.0 to deliver the capabilities at that speed, guarantees that our soldiers stay ready and ready to perform with all of the up-to-date capabilities that we can provide. So finally, we use our budget as a driver for innovation by placing a heavy emphasis on commercial preference. So taking a look at commercial solutions out there first before we try to do a non-commercial buy or even something that we can slightly modify to meet the government's needs. That's kind of a few of the ways that we can prioritize the capabilities in this environment.
Balancing near-term demands with long-term priorities is critical. How do you manage urgent requirements while still advancing strategic goals?
Balancing urgent needs against long-term strategy. Simultaneously, we kind of have to actively build the robust architecture required to deter our adversaries for now. So we can successfully do this if we can achieve balance by utilizing a lot of the tailored acquisition pathways, depending on what it is that you're buying within this new warfighter acquisition system. And the FAR overhaul gives us that flexibility. I know it's still kind of being worked, but I know we are going to start realizing a lot more of the flexibilities that are available within the document. So when an urgent requirement emerges, I guess we can immediately deploy rapid acquisition tools like CSOs that I've mentioned several times before, OTAs, or any of those things that kind of help us get after a solution faster. But we've also got other organizations added into the acquisition reform now, such as the PIT, who is designed to work down at the core level or the Army Service Component Command level to be able to canvass the operational units, who are also able to provide them with direct feedback as to what they're seeing in the field and what their needs are. And they're able to buy them at maybe a smaller scale to be able to test and implement like at the unit level at very quick speed. So that's something that's been newly added under the PAE structure. So they're still out there growing and kind of putting their word out. I know one of the elements of the PIT came to Team Orlando about a month and a half ago and kind of just did an opening pitch to industry, so which was actually very good. For enduring programs, we maintain like a deliberate data-driven approach that aligns perfectly with the national defense strategy. This kind of ensures that our rapid procurements never derail our commitment to longer-term objectives.
Now, there's a lot of new technology out there. How do you decide what's actually worth the investment? Additionally, what's one persistent challenge you're actively trying to solve?
That's a good question. So to evaluate emerging technology, I guess we always ask if it directly helps make our American warriors the most lethal fighting force. I know I've pretty much said that verbatim in several other questions before, but it is like our true purpose out there. So we have to ensure that the investments are tied strictly to capabilities rather than just buying technology. So a persistent challenge that we have to always manage is a rapid pace of commercial innovation. Because it's no secret that the commercial sector operates at much faster speed than what we do here in the government. But trying to manage that and still maintain the applicability to the warfighter and relevance to the operational environment is definitely a big challenge between us and our CPEST3 counterparts. So the FAR overhaul is critical to solving this by shifting our focus from performance-based contracting. So we now tell our industry partners that the outcome we need rather than dictating how they must build it. So that's another way that we do it.
Moving on, how do you see AI impacting companies' proposals and the government's review and assessment of those proposals? And do you have any tips for industry on what they can do to take advantage of the AI tools in a way that works for both industry and the government?
Several ways. As I know, AI is a part of everything now, it seems. I guess it's out there so much it might seem like a buzzword, but it's really the way of the future, and it's one thing that we really have to adapt to in the government and on the commercial side to streamline and make ourselves more efficient. So, one takeaway is, I guess, there's a dual impact on acquisition. So AI is transforming the life cycle by accelerating industry proposal generation and government evaluation velocity. For example, Army Contracting Command out of Detroit Arsenal, they've developed a tool called Fast Track to streamline source selections. Essentially, it's a tool that can lay a proposal side by side with some of the evaluation criteria and rapidly give you an evaluation document that you can quickly compare and make decisions based on that information. So that's one thing that we're really implementing across ACC, especially here at ACC-Orlando. Both sides benefit from automated cross-referencing. The government uses it to evaluate proposals against solicitations, while industry can use AI to verify their drafts against the statement of work or Section L&M requirements to ensure that none of the key aspects of the solicitation are missed. One big thing is that security is paramount. Industry must be able to handle the CUI sensitive mission data in secure IL5 compliant environments. So using public unsecure AI tools for government proposals can potentially introduce some significant risk.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that industry has to pay attention to is ensure that they're inputting their stuff into secure AI platforms just to mitigate that risk. So mandatory human in the loop. I know I spoke about Fast Track for solicitations and evaluations. That's one of the key aspects within Fast Track is, yes, it's an AI tool. It's a closed system AI tool. It's not a large language model, but the way it's built is to ensure that contracting specialist or contracting officer or somebody on the evaluation team has to have specified points within the evaluation for human in the loop so that the AI isn't itself making determinations or biases on any of the proposals. That's one of the really big things that we like about that. And then it can kind of takes away the I guess, possible hallucinations of the AI that everybody who's used it a few times has seen.
Yeah.
And then bottom line is that fast reviews and equals fast contract awards. Mutual success depends on transparency and data integrity, and also staying up to date with the latest DoD AI policies, which are ever evolving since AI itself is a fast-moving train.
Yeah. Looking ahead, what are your top priorities for the next 12 to 24 months? Where do you see the biggest opportunities for improvement?
Top priorities, I kind of like to separate them into three distinct pillars. I guess people, processes, and partnerships. So we'll continuously invest in our workforce, to continuously invest in our people, our contracting professionals, make sure they're able to stay highly agile, up to date on new policies, and be valued members of our workforce. I guess regarding processes, we've spent the last year eagerly adapting to the new flexibilities of the FAR. So my priority now for processes is to fully institutionalize these tools and so that the speed becomes our default setting. I feel like our workforce does a great job already of getting after these requirements, but even with some of these new flexibilities that we're going to realize here shortly, definitely making sure that they're well ingrained into our process, our operations. So we want to make mechanisms like CSOs the absolute standard for some of our appropriate requirements. The shift, it represents a big opportunity for us in the next 12 to 24 months. And I know we've already done a few. what we've learned off of those is just going to make us a lot faster
Yeah.
and a lot more efficient in that space. And then finally, we want to deepen our partnerships, whether it's with through Team Orlando, our other ACC centers, other government organizations out there, other aspects of the defense industrial base. So, of course, I know I've spoken about PALT several times, which is kind of a shameless plug for me to get people out there to come support it. But that's one of our primary ways of bringing in industry partners, especially small non-traditionals, so they can see how it is to gain access and
of course.
And be able to collaborate.
As we come to an end, let's end on letting industry know the best ways to reach you and your team. Where can they get more information?
Well, we're constantly looking to expand our network of innovators, especially building on unity and shared purpose with industry can do nothing but guarantee success. Of course, Paul, in industry days throughout the time. I guess I also strongly encourage people to every business to actively monitor SAM.gov for our request for information and solicitations. Taking the opportunity to be able to provide feedback on those, it will really provide value to the whole acquisition team out there and also help with building relationships with those who we haven't maybe necessarily had a relationship with. Finally, we definitely need their best ideas to ensure our warriors remain the most lethal fighting force on Earth. Whether you're a massive defense prime or a tech startup, the doors are definitely open for partnership. So whether you want to connect with me or any of my contracting officers, division chiefs, we're definitely open to collaborating and working together to ensure mission success across the board. So.
That's great. And with that, I would like to thank Colonel Williams for joining us on here today. That's a wrap on this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Want to stay in the loop on what's happening in the modeling and simulation and Team Orlando communities? Head to teamorlando.org and follow us on LinkedIn, X, and Facebook for all the latest updates and upcoming events. If you're looking to spotlight your organization or share your voice on AIM on MS&T, sponsorship and guest opportunities are available. Contact us. The information will be in the description. Don't forget to follow AIM on MS&T on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!